You lost weight.
There we go. Perfect. Yes, so even though it's not, even though you will miss the occasional one, and that's okay, it is strongly encouraged just for your own health and well-being that you attend as many as you can. Try to make it a bit of a priority if you're able to. So welcome everybody. So great to see you all.
You too.
Hope you're very excited to get back at it. It can be a bit tough after a couple weeks, couple months of not having a structured exercise time. So just a quick reminder is, remember, our motto is challenging but doable. So no matter how much you were able to move or how much you weren't able to move, you should all get a good workout, feel good, be equally challenged, but you should all be able to do it. And you're going to have to monitor your own intensity, and I'll give you as many supporting cues as I can. So quick safety chat. Remember to have a clear exercise space around you, nothing to step on or trip over. If you've got a stretchy band, I've got mine beside me. And then a weight or whatever you're going to use as a weight. Just as an example, I'm using a full water bottle today, just to show that you don't need a specific exercise equipment, and make do with whatever we've got around you. If you've got an oximeter or something to check your oxygen levels and pulse, it's a good thing to have close by. All right, and chair, make sure it's a sturdy chair, no rolly chairs. Okay, want to be safe here today. So let's get right into our breathing pattern as part of our warm-up. I'm going to ask you all to just place a hand on your belly. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in, and as we breathe in, we're going to fill up that belly. So that hand should be pushed away. So breathe in with me, inhale. And again, that belly should expand, and then breathing out through pursed lips. Like you're blowing out a line of candles. Ready? Breathe in and out. Again, in and out. Now place both hands by your belly, tuck the elbows in. We're gonna pull our hands apart, not our elbows, just the hands as we inhale, and exhale as you bring those hands back in. So again, we're gonna inhale, pull the hands apart, and exhale to bring the hands back in. Inhale, pull the hands apart. Call it the double hitchhiker. And breathe out. Bring the hands back in. Last one. In and out. Good. Now we're going to lift an arm straight up overhead. So we're going to breathe in. As we lift that arm straight up, breathing out to bring that arm back down. Remember, you are going at your own pace. If a fully extended arm does not feel good for you, then you're going to keep your elbow bent, and you can think about lifting your elbow up. Okay, so if you've got a sore shoulder or neck, you can do it like that instead. So breathe in, lift the arm. Breathe out to bring the arm back down. Breathe in, lift up the arm. Breathe out to bring the hand back down. Once more per arm. Breathe in. And out. And last one, in. And out.
I'll call you back.
Brilliant. Okay, take in your hands, and we're going to make 2 circles. So we're going to get into a little bit of coordination. The one thing I did forget to remind us all of is about please put yourself on mute if there's any noise in the background, just because we can all hear it. And then please make sure you unmute yourself to ask questions, get clarification. All that kind of stuff is fantastic. If you get a phone call, if someone else comes into the room, just double check that you are muted. All right, so we're going to change directions of those circles. We're getting all wound up here. That's part of getting excited for exercises today. So as you circle your hands, if you feel like you can add an extra challenge in, what I'm going to ask you to try to do is step forward 1 foot, bring it back, and then switch feet. We're going to step forward 1 foot at a time. Good. Perfect. So again, if you do have noise in your background, just please double check that you are muted. That would be super, super appreciated. Now keep stepping 1 foot forward at a time. And now we're going to get into some figure eights. So both hands are drawing a kind of sideways figure eight. And again, if you can step forward 1 foot at a time, that'd be brilliant. So we're stepping forward 1 foot at a time, making those figure eights with our hands.
Oh,
Now see if you can reverse the figure eights. Oh boy, that's where it gets tricky. Remember, I like to say the best way to get warmed up is to get a bit confused. Nothing gets your heart rate up like, oh geez, am I doing this right? Oh geez, this is hard. There we go. Okay, so keep your feet moving. Don't stop your feet. Relax your arms. So keep your feet moving. Turn your palms up like you're holding a big platter of turkey. It's getting close to Thanksgiving. And we're just going to show off that platter of turkey. Ooh. Okay, so moving it side to side. And again, we haven't stopped our feet. If you could keep your feet going, brilliant. If that's beyond your challenge threshold for the day, that's okay, right? Challenging but doable. Do what you can here. And what I'm going to ask now is that you do 2 steps per foot. So what that's going to look like is we're still showing off that platter of turkey. And your foot's going to step forward 1, back, 2, back, and then switch feet. 1, back, 2, back. Switch
we
feet.
can't see your feet.
You can't see my feet. What?
Nope.
Well, keep it moving. Keep it moving, gang. Do what you can.
The table's in front of your chair.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny. That's funny. I didn't even notice. Give me 1 second, team.
Yeah.
Let's try this. That's the problem when your table is almost the same color. What's that?
It'd be easier to move the chair than the table.
Well, you say that. You say that, but
That's good.
but then I'm in the couch area.
No, a little bit. Just yeah, there.
Okay.
That's
This
better. Yeah.
Yay!
Perfect. Thank you for the feedback. Again, I keep my screen with all of your boxes so I can see all of you, but that means I can't see my feet very well. Okay, so you're gonna still step forward 1, 2, and then change 1, 2, but now the arms are gonna have a different task. So again, 1, 2 with the feet. And what the arms are gonna do is 1 is going to press up and the other is gonna press out to the side.
Oh my
And you're gonna bring them back in and then you're gonna switch. So it's 1, 2, switch feet. 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 Good. All right. Last, we're going to go for 10 more seconds. And your goal is whatever your capacity is today, I want you now increasing the intensity. How many steps and arm movements can you do? Maintaining the pattern. And again, we're increasing speed. That's going to make it way harder to keep up the coordination challenge here. We got 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. So after that little burst, this is a great time to remind you about that recovery position, which is forearms or hands braced on to your thighs, or if you have a table in front of you, that works great. Just remember to keep your chest up. So we don't want to cave down. You do want to keep the chest up, but this is a great way to open up your airways and help you recover your breath. Okay. And every time we have a little bit of a rest, I want you to go right back into your recovery breathing. And the key part about that is breathing out through pursed lips. So you've got that line of candles in front of you. Blow all the candles out. Okay. So really do your best to stick to that recovery breathing. We're going to get into a couple intervals. We're going to work for a minute and we're going to rest for 30 seconds. So, and again, now it's up to you if you want to pick up the intensity for whatever you can do today. Brilliant. Okay, if you're feeling quite fatigued today, the goal is just to keep moving for the full minute. And the more limbs that are moving at a time, the harder it's going to be, the more intense it is, because more oxygen is needed. Okay, so right from here, we're going to march. So we're going to lift up knee and opposite arm. We're going to go for a minute. And again, you've got arm and leg moving at the same time. A way to decrease the intensity here is to get just the arms moving or just the legs moving. If you want to make it harder, the more range of motion you move your limbs in, so the higher you lift your knees, bigger the arm swing, the harder it's going to be. And the faster you move your limbs, the harder it's going to be. Now we're getting into these little cardio bursts, but the goal is still to maintain your breathing pattern. So keep breathing out through pursed lips. And we're going to go for 10 more seconds. So maintain that breathing pattern, even though we're moving a little bit more vigorously. And rest. So some of you will need a little bit of active recovery. That means you might want some gentle movement, like moving your arms. Maybe you need to just casually keep your feet moving. Others need to go right into that recovery position.
Jill, can you hear?
Just focus on your breathing. Yes, I can hear you.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I was on right because this is my first time. So I was just checking, make sure I've got everything working. Okay.
Looks good so far.
I won't be here
Perfect.
to have a pulmonary test at the hospital. So
Nice. There you go. Have fun. Work hard. And we'll see you next week.
you bet.
Good. Okay, team, we're ready for our next cardio burst. Now what's going to happen is we're going to tap one foot out to the side at a time, and we're going to swing the arm across the body now. What's super important here, some of you are going to want to lean your whole body over. Be cautious of your back, especially if you have osteoporosis in your spine. I'd rather you keep your core fairly tight, that your limbs are doing most of the work rather than you reach. Has everyone got that? All right, and let's go. We've got a minute. So step the leg out to the side, swing the arm across the body. And maintain that breathing pattern. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. Well done, everybody. You're just past the halfway point. So really focus, maintain your breathing. Remember the goal, first goal is to be able to keep moving for a full minute. So if you feel like it's too challenging, you got to reduce the intensity so we can maintain the movement. And then once you do that, then you start picking up the intensity. 3, 2, and 1. So now we rest. Now I have 30 seconds here. So really focus on that recovery, breathing. Remember that recovery position, which will help you open up your airways. We're looking great so far, team. Are we having fun?
Betcha.
Yes.
Oh, good. Some of you are going yes, and some of you are going no, not yet. The fun comes after. Okay, so keep catching your breath. But I want to show you our next movement. Our next movement is we're going to get fingertips just by the ears. And what, again, this is going to be one you have to be very cautious of because we're going to move elbow to knee, but we are not bending forward. So it's just this little movement here. And it's mostly my shoulder doing the work, not my back. Okay? But you're going to feel a little tug through that core. Okay? So it's just slightly reaching elbow to knee without rotating, without bending forward. Okay, so tighten up your belly and let's go. This one you can do a little bit slower and try to focus more on lifting your knee up as high as it'll go. Because this is one we don't want to rush through. We want to do it really conscientiously. Good. Good. Yes, I see elbows moving more than the torso rotating, and that's excellent. Good work, team. Did someone accidentally share their screen? Oh, brilliant. We've got it. Almost there, team. Lift up that knee. Pull that elbow in. 3, 2, and rest. Now here's a question. Who feels fatigued around kind of their armpit area and kind of right at the front of their shoulder?
Right.
Yeah, good. But not the lower back. That's good. So you made it more, you made the shoulders do more of that work than your lower back. So that's brilliant. Well done. Okay, remember that recovery position. We're going to do one more cardio burst, and then we're going to switch it up, focus a bit more on our strength. Okay. The goal is to get stronger in your lungs and in your muscles. Okay, so while you're catching your breath, focus on breathing out through pursed lips. The last one we're going to do, have your hands in front of you. You're going to pull open the arms and close them. Now, that's just what the upper body is doing. Now, and if straight arms feels a bit too challenging, feel free to keep the elbows tucked in. Okay, and what the legs are going to do is they're going to cross over. Bit of a Broadway move, this one. You'll get to bring your theater acting into play. Okay, so we're going to start that officially in 3, 2, 1. You've got a minute. So pull open the arms, cross the feet over. And this is a fun one because you can try to get your feet moving faster than your arms, which actually makes it a lot more challenging. Okay, we're pulling open the arms, crossing the feet over. Good. Step cross, step cross, step cross. Maintain your breathing pattern. It's harder to maintain your breathing pattern as we start moving with more intensity, but it makes it even more important so that you do not get as short of breath. So keep breathing out through pursed lips. Well done, everybody. All right, we're getting close to the end here. This is the last cardio burst. We are trying to make those lungs work. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. All right, now is a great time for a sip of water. And again, a great time to get back into your recovery breathing. I'm going to give you a full minute of actual rest, catching your breath, and then we're going to move on to some strength exercises. So if you have a stretchy band, I moved to my chair, there we go. If you've got a stretchy band, we will be using that next. If you do not have one, that's okay. I will show you what you can do instead. And then just make sure you got some sort of weight close by as well. Once again, I am using a water bottle today, just to prove anything will work. Good. Now's a good time to give me a thumbs up if you're doing good. Yeah, I'm doing all right, hanging in there, or oh, not doing good and you need a bit of a change up. Seen a lot of thumbs up, which is good. Excellent. If you are feeling a bit thumbs down, make sure you speak up and let me know, especially exercise specific wise. I've got loads up here. I'm really happy to change it up and give you something, an alternative to do, okay? Okay, team, we're gonna take our band. And this is a fun one. You're gonna put the band underneath your foot. So I've got it underneath my foot. And then from here, I'm going to cross over the two ends. So now it kind of creates a bit of a figure eight on my foot. Okay, now the two ends are going to go behind my leg. So they're going to go towards my chair. And I'm just going to wrap it around the leg of my chair. So my hand gets to hold on to the two ends. And my foot now gets to kick out. And the band is kind of resisting my leg. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Good. And the figure eight step, you don't have to do it crossing over. I just find it helpful so the band doesn't come back up at you. It's fail safe this way. So I'm holding the two ends. If your hands get sore, feel free to kind of just push it against your leg, or you could even sit on it, right? So you don't have to grip it as hard. But from here, we're just going to slowly kick our foot away from our chair. And if that feels like there's no resistance, I've got great news for you. All you have to do is tighten up your band. If it felt like way too much resistance, you can shorten your band or lengthen it, sorry. So press, kick your leg away from you. We're working that top thigh muscle. It's called your quad, your quadriceps. Okay, so slowly kick away and slowly bring it back in. How's everyone doing with this exercise? We're achieving it. Good. Lots of thumbs up. Brilliant. Again, if you need any clarification of the exercise, if you need an alternative, I am so here for you. Happy to help. You just have to let me know. But slowly kicking away and then come back. If this is one of your first classes ever with me, now's a great time to pre-warn you that I'm a very bad counter. There's a screw loose up here. The screw that was meant for counting capabilities, it's gone. So if it starts feeling like we've been doing it for a while and I'm chatting, you're more than welcome to say something. So I call it, we usually do between 10 and 20 reps of everything. Okay, so slow kick, go, go, go. And if you want to put your hand on your thigh, make sure that quad is nice and tight. It's working hard, and then bring your foot back towards your chair with control. It is helpful to breathe out on the exertion. And the exertion here is the kick out. So I'm going to breathe out as we kick. Good, and we're going to do 3 more. So 3. And back. 2. And back. And 1. And back. Excellent. Take your band. We're going to undo our beautiful wrapping job because we're going to switch feet. So now we're going to take our stretchy band. Going to go underneath our other foot. Make sure the 2 sides are just about even. We're going to cross the 2 ends over. And then both ends go behind, back towards the chair to wrap around a chair leg. Good. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Brilliant. Off we go. We're going to slowly kick. And then bring it back. And we've got a kick. And back. Kick. And back. Kick. And back. Kick. Good. Make sure that thigh muscle is nice and tight. It's working hard. Kick. And back. Breathing out as we kick. Breathing in as it comes back. Kick. Well done, everybody. Making those legs work hard today. If you're lucky, we might not even do sit to stands today. So who's feeling lucky? No, that one's everyone's favorite. So slow kick out, slow bring it back with control. Excellent. And we've got 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
23.
That was 23.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little off. It's okay. Usually people start with their strong leg first. So then the second leg, we get to do a couple extra on. Works out that way. All right, now we're going to take our stretchy band or your weight. It is your choice. It's going to be the same movement, just a slightly different setup. So if you've got the stretchy band, we're going to put it around your back. And so both ends are coming forwards underneath your armpit. Okay. And then you get to just wrap it around your hands. That helps you not have to grip it as tightly. If you've got a weight, you're just going to hold it with 2 hands in front of you, or if you've got 2 weights, 1 in each hand. If you've got weights, you're leaning back in your chair. Actually, everybody can lean back in their chair as long as it doesn't irritate your lower back. We're still sitting up tall, so we're not slouched. And we're just gonna push our hands out in front of our chest. And then we're gonna slowly, for 3 seconds, lower it back, 2, 3. Push out, back, 2, 3. So we might realize you need to shorten up your band a little bit more. And push, back, 2, 3. And push, back, 2, 3. 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 Push, try to breathe out on the push here, breathing out through pursed lips. And we've got 5, back, 2, 3, 4, back, 2, 3, 3, back, 2, 3, 3, back, 2, 3, 2, back, 2, 3, and 1, back, 2, 3. Rest those arms. Might need to roll your shoulders back a couple times. Shake it out. Brilliant. Again, grab a sip of water as needed, making sure this is a good time to check your energy levels.
Check your reading.
Don't want to get depleted here.
What are you doing?
Perfect. Okay, so you can take your band, actually put your band to the side. So take your band, put it off to the side, still accessible. And now you can grab your weight. Good. So what I'm going to ask is that you hold your weight either with one hand or with both. It just depends how heavy your weight is for you and how your energy levels are doing. I'm going to ask you to get your feet a bit wider apart than the width of your chair. And the movement is the same, whether or not you're holding the weight with one hand or two hands. The goal is to bend forward at the hips as if we're trying to touch the weight to the ground. Now, though, I've seen how most of your hips move. They're tight. Probably won't touch the ground. And if you do, it might be because you're rounding. And I don't want that rounding to happen. So what you're going to do is you're going to stay nice and tall. You're going to bend forward at the hips. And wherever your hips tell you, ooh, that's enough, that's tight, you might feel some kind of pinching at the front of your hips, that's where you stop. We're going to pause. You're going to pull the weight up to your chest. You're going to lower the weight back down. And now you're just going to push through your feet to come back up, to sit upright. So once again, you bend forward, but bending at the hips. So it might feel tight at the back of your legs, might feel pinchy at the front of your hips. That's good. That means you're doing it correctly. Pull the weight up to your chest. Lower it back down. And push through your feet to sit upright. Good. And again. And if you're doing it with two hands, the same thing. Just pull the weight up, back down, push through your feet. Good. Bend forward. Can everyone feel that kind of tightness in their hips that tells them where to stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Or it could feel tight along those inner thighs, the groin muscles. They're called your adductors. That's all okay. That tightness in any of those areas is a sign that you're moving through your hips, not your lower back. So pull the weight up to your chest, down, and stand. And by stand, I mean come upright. Good. So we're going to do, if you're doing single arm, we're going to do one more on this arm, and then we're going to switch arms. If you're doing 2 arms, you get to keep on going. No switching. Good. And come up. So again, if you're holding it with one hand, go ahead, switch arms. Same thing. Bend forward at the hips. Where you feel that tightness is where you stop. And you come back up. Good. Bend forward at the hips. Pull the weight to your chest. Down. Come upright. So the helpful one here is to breathe in as you go down. Breathe out as you pull the weight up. You can breathe in as you lower the weight, which allows you to breathe out as you come back up. That can be a good pattern of doing it. It'll make sure you're going slow and controlled. Good at any time throughout class. If you feel like some exercise is not doing what's best for your body, please let me know. And I will happily give you an alternative.
Well, I had surgery on my shoulder in February because of a fall.
Mm-hmm.
And my arm's still sore. Is it okay? I mean, I can do this. Is it okay? I don't want to aggravate the pain, right? But it still hurts.
Is it hurting more as you do it?
No, certain things like that one to open, they hurt quite a bit. But this one is not, but I just don't, I don't
This
know.
one should be good because it's so close chain. What I would just encourage you to do is don't allow your elbow to come out just because that's a longer lever. Keep your elbow tucked in on this one.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, and don't allow the shoulder to get dropped forward.
Mm.
So kind of think about gently pulling your shoulder blades towards each other so that you can pull up,
Okay.
lower,
Mm.
and press up. Good. I would imagine some of the most aggravating movements for you are any overhead movements.
Yeah.
So you just want to be cautious there. Everybody rests there. That was excellent. Well done. Hopefully you got some more movement through those hips. You'll have to tell me later once you get walking around. Okay, so now you're going to take your weight in both hands. And this is for everybody. And this is one I want you to remember. If your shoulder is ever sore, you're going to have the weight in 2 hands. And I don't want flappy wing elbows. I want those elbows tucked in. And I want you actively tucking them in. And you might feel some tightness kind of around your rib cage. That's good. That's the muscle we're trying to get engaged here. And now from here, you're just going to really slowly lift up to where you can without allowing the elbow to get out of line with your wrists. So the moment you over pull them in, that's too far. The moment they drift out, that's your limit. You got to keep those elbows in line with your wrists, just to where you can, even if it's only a tiny movement. And that's okay. If you feel like you can't move it very far, then you're just going to hold there for longer. So I'm going to count us. I'm going to give us a count here. We're going to lift up for 5 seconds. And wherever your limit is, you just hold it there for the whole 5 seconds. Okay. So we're going up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Think about pressing your hands towards each other. Okay, but the weight is preventing them from touching. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down, 2, 3, 4, 5. On this next one, I'm going to show what happens if you can't lift up very far. So it's up, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those of you who are limited, notice I didn't lift it up. I just held it here, pressed my hands together. Down, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do it again. but do your range. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 more, up, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, 2, 3, 4, 5, rest. Okay, so again, where you should have felt that the most is 2 key areas. One, again, is kind of that rib cage area below your armpit. The other area is at the back of your shoulder/shoulder blade. Does that sound accurate for most of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Some of you may have felt a little bit of tightness in your upper neck. What's key there is you don't want to be lifting as high, because what was probably happening is your shoulders were shrugging up
Wow, okay.
to do the movement. So that's a cue for you that on your overhead movements, rather than trying to get it up high and getting that shrug, just go that little ways where you're kind of pushing through
Mhm.
your shoulder blades to get it and just hold it. So if you felt like you were feeling it in your upper neck, I want you just to do 2 right now of pushing and thinking about getting your elbows up and keeping your shoulders down, holding, and then back down. And you should instead feel it in that rib and shoulder blade area. Okay, does that make sense to everybody?
Mm.
Yep.
Good. Good. And how did that feel on your shoulder?
Mm,
Good.
Good. My recovering shoulder person.
Oh, yeah, from surgery, yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I can still, it's always kind of painful, but
Yep.
I have to exercise it, I know, right?
Yes, that's
Well,
right.
A long story. If I tell you everything that happened to me since I fell, you won't believe it. But anyways, yeah.
Yes, injuries, long-term injuries can be very challenging. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So guys, what we're gonna do next is you're gonna scooch to the front of your chair.
Without the weight, right?
That's up to you. If you'd like it to be extra challenging, you can hold the weight. You'll just hold the weight at your chest. So we're at the front of your chair. And what we're gonna do is we're really slowly gonna start to lean back, like a super slow controlled fall. But you're only going to go to where you feel your core muscles tighten up. And if you feel like you need a hand on your belly to feel that, brilliant, do that. You can have a hand on your belly. You're just going to slowly lean back just to where you feel right around your belly button tighten up. Then you're going to pause, and then you're going to squeeze, not with your hand, just the muscles, activate them hard to come back up. So again, go back just to where you feel that tightening. And then you're going to try to tighten those muscles even more to pull yourself back up. And even if you just move a little ways, that's okay. Strengthening and benefit comes from getting the right muscles to activate. It's the intention that you do an exercise that really, really helps. So just go as far back to where you feel that tightening up, and then tighten them to pull yourself back forward. So it's back and forward. Good. Back just a little ways and forwards. Back a little ways. Breathe out, come forwards. Back just a little ways and forwards. Back a little ways. And forward. So we're gonna do 5 more. Okay, just to get some good repetitions in, practice this movement really well. You should notice that from hip to head doesn't move. It's the movement's coming through your hips rather than breaking the straightness of your spine. You want to maintain a straight spine, a straight back. As we rock back, just to where it tightens up, hold, and then pull yourself back forwards. Good. Maintain your breathing. Don't allow yourself to hold your breath here. This is the last one. Good. You can shake out your hands, shake out your legs. Good work, everybody. Okay. Just to finish up today, I'd like to do just a little bit of neck strengthening with you. We're going to do 3 rounds, 5 seconds of each movement. So what's going to happen first is you're going to take your hand, just place it against the side of your head. Now, what's going to be really cautious is I don't want your neck to actively move through any of the movements. You're just going to gently push your hand into your head and resist the movement. So you should feel that little bit of tightening. Just go, start slow. We're going to hold 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly relax, and then you're just going to switch hands. And it's a gentle push, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently relax. Now it's the front. So gently push against your forehead, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And now the back of your head, what I like to do is just to get both hands back there. If you want to put just one, that's fine. Just make sure you're not pushing from a side. Make sure it actually is behind. And really quick, looking at my head, the movement is not looking up. The movement is drawing your chin back. Okay? It can be a funny one. So gently resist. Draw the chin back. Don't tuck the chin down. Just draw it back. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So that's round 1. I'd like us to repeat that twice more. So starting with the side of the head. Gently push. 2, 3, 4, 5. And slowly switch sides. Push. 2, 3, 4, 5. From the front. Push. 2, 3, 4, 5. From the back. Push. 2, 3, 4, 5. What I neglected to say is if it's hard to get your hand to the back of your head, you are welcome to just gently place your head against the wall or a backrest if it's tall enough, okay? Last round, push the side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides, push. 2, 3, 4, 5. From the front. 2, 3, 4, 5. And from the back of your head, last one. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Roll the shoulders back.
Does that release tension?
It can. There's a technique called progressive muscle relaxation, which means if you contract, tighten your muscle, hold it for an extended time, and then release it, that can help take your muscle over the threshold to help it relax. It does that by your muscle releasing calcium. So if you have a frequently tight neck and doing that, you felt, oh, that feels looser, that's good. It's a sign that a lot of that tightness is coming through the muscles, and you can practice that. But it's also, that was also a way of helping strengthen the different muscles of the neck without moving the neck, because a lot of us have to be really cautious about that.
Okay.
Perfect. So it's stretch time. Best part about the class, so I've been told. We're gonna lift up an elbow. You can do it this way. Some of you like to do it that way, whatever feels best for you. And then just remember, stretch time is also the best time to really connect as a community. So this is also social time. Feel free to chat. Feel free to ask questions while we stretch.
How's your dog?
Oh, he's doing great.
Oh, good.
He's a lot of work though.
Oh,
Switch
yeah.
arms. Why did no one tell me duck tollers, or they said they were high energy, but they didn't say they were a different type of border collie.
Oh,
I'd like to know out of the people in the program before the summer break, how many of them kept going through the summer in the break? Because I have to admit, I was bad. I didn't.
Very.
Me neither.
Oh, and there's Rick, you see.
Pick 'em
I
up.
didn't either.
I didn't either, and I should have.
I thought that was a holiday.
Without the live
thought that was a
program, there isn't that incentive.
And rest.
I
we're
think
gonna
you were
gently-
easy. I think you were easy on us today, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm gonna hurt tomorrow.
It was one of those things where I went, I'm familiar with Barry's type of people, where without the structure, it can be so tough to do it on your own,
I
switch
know.
arms. So I had a feeling that a lot of people weren't as active as they had hoped to be.
Right.
So it's always good to start off a little bit slower. But again, if you kind of felt, well, that was way too easy, well, that's a bit on you. It's not the exercises you're doing. There's lots of ways to increase the intensity no matter what we're doing. Okay, I can get it to where I'm getting a pretty good workout with you guys.
I should mention that I didn't do it over the summer. And I cannot tell you how much worse I've gotten in those 2 months.
Yeah.
So thank you. I'm so glad you're back, and
Oh, good.
hopefully I can
Stretch out
get
your
some of
leg.
it back.
Oh, you will. You will, Maureen. You'll get some of it back for
Okay.
sure. Make sure we're bending forward at the hips. So if you're actually able to touch your toes, I have a suspicion you're bending through your back, and I'd like you bending through your hips.
Need a longer arm to touch my toes.
Yeah, me too.
and Jill, we missed your sense of humor.
See, it's so fun to be back as a group.
Yeah, your team.
Yeah.
That's right.
Looks like you lost weight.
Me?
Yeah.
Don't you know to never say that?
It's
Switch
really-
legs. Well, my own rehab for my knee has been going quite well, so it's nice to not be so debilitatingly injured
That's good.
and to be able to do more activity. So that's good.
Is the coaching happening now too?
Yes, well, that's a funny story. I got roped into, happily, it was just a bit unexpected. I got roped into coaching the higher level team. So we actually started back in August, and that kind of kiboshed my summer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I ended up only getting like 3 weeks of summer.
Oh,
And then coaching started back up, but it's been a lot of fun. So that's all right.
that's good.
We train in Vernon, Barry.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
wow.
right. That's right.
wow.
We're gonna pull, you're either gonna get your leg up onto your thigh, or You straighten out your other leg and you prop it up onto your shin. And from there, if it's just on your shin, you can kind of gently grab the knee and lean into it a little bit. So just do whatever is a bit challenging, but doable. Yes, and I'll be traveling down to the coast quite a bit for our games on the weekend. So,
Oh, jeez.
You take
So
your
the fire didn't wreck things for you traveling?
what's that?
The fires and smoke didn't wreck things?
Oh, yeah, we had to shut down training for about a week.
Yeah.
I got evacuated, but everything worked out. So,
Oh, wow.
oh yeah. Switch legs. And no, I don't take my dog with me on the bus to games.
oh,
He's not allowed, and I don't think he would have much fun anyway.
No, he wouldn't.
have to babysit the dog.
Well, he stays home with dad.
That's easier.
Yeah, he's good. He has a great time.
Can't play catch with a soccer ball anyway. His mouth isn't big enough.
Well, he can actually pick them up.
Oh,
Yeah, eventually it wrecks the ball. So we have a designated dog ball, but oh, he'd be a nightmare. It's just he's a workhorse. He's not content. Rest there. We're actually gonna turn sideways or face forward, but you're just gonna drop the leg back. So get a bit of a stretch on the leg. He's not a dog that's happy to cuddle with you and just be with you. He's either working or asleep. There's no in between. Good working. And just quick aside, making sure you're still focused on your breathing pattern as we get into our stretching. Did anyone have any questions from today's exercises? Especially my newer people.
Well, no, excuse me, I actually did them on YouTube all summer with you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Wonderful.
yeah, pretty
Switch
much.
legs. Well, that was a good introduction. You get a pretty good idea of what it's like live if you do the recorded stuff.
My respiratory therapist put me onto it
Brilliant.
and told me to sign up, and that's so I signed up with this year. So I'm real happy with it. I was
awesome.
I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get on because sometimes with Zoom I have trouble with it.
Right.
But I have a little acid reflux, so
Oh no.
I just had lunch before we started. So anyway, yeah.
So you might need either a little bit less lunch and then have the rest after exercise.
Yeah, but I
give yourself a little extra time.
I just come from yoga class, so I was starving.
Oh, gotcha. Yep, that would do it.
4 times a week as well.
There you go. Rest there, team. So we always finish with a deep breath. I will count us. What should I give us today? We're going to breathe in for 3 seconds and breathe out for 4 seconds. If you can do longer on either of those, please feel free to. And you're welcome to keep your hands on your belly. You're welcome to pull them out to the side. You're welcome to lift them up. Do what feels best for you. And let's take a deep breath in. 2, 3, 4, and out through pursed lips. 2, 3, 4, 5. Turns out I lied on my counting. Once more. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can shake it out, roll out your wrists, roll out your shoulders, give yourself a pat on the back. And thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Jill.
Wonderful to see you all.